Yeah. So I'm recording. Okay. So this is just a one field on the customer object, and this field act as a reference key to other tables. So that's why it will support only text or auto number. And if you want to capture the other attributes, let's say is date of birth, is email, is address, there is a new options. Always you can go and create any of the fields over here.
under the object.
Yes.
Okay.
So the other fields basically. So that
Mhm.
in the time, like the config workbook will help you. So what are the fields we are going to create? So basically, if I
Mhm.
go for a customer, I want to create a date of birth, our first name, last name, phone, email, street, city, state. So all these fields we need to create it.
So you have the customer object already created in the system then.
Yeah, just now I created an object, but we don't have any fields.
Right. So you are creating the fields, but the object has already been created.
Just now I created, right?
So you're creating the fields within that customer object.
Yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
right. So previously there will be one object. I deleted that object, and just now I created a new customer object.
Yep.
Okay, and then we had to create a fields. But before creating the fields, let's see like how the customer object look like. So I'm going to refresh my applications. See here, I can see the tab now, customer tab. Yeah, and click new. So at the moment, how many fields are there?
Only one.
Only one, because this is the reference key, only one field. Now, if you want to capture the more information about this customer, what you need to do? So you have to create a fields. Okay. So once if we create an object in Salesforce, it will create even page layouts, all these button, like in the list views, one list view, all list views, all these button by default system will generate automatically. And if you click new button, this is the layout, and it will include the fields in the layout as well. Now,
Some
yeah.
Sampath, I got a question. So you didn't give me the field for created date and last modified. I saw created by was there and last modified by.
Yeah.
So is there an option that we can also add in the created date and the last modified date to one particular record as we are creating the object? Is that
Yes.
possible?
But again, it's a system fields. Whenever if you create a record, it will come into that when at what time created and who created that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say I'm creating one entry. Let's say like John. So John is one of the customer. Okay, and save.
Mm-hmm.
Now you'll see who created and what
Okay.
time they created, who modified,
Oh,
and what by default created date and modified
oh,
date same. But if you
okay. It's
edit
there along with the
and
name.
yeah, do and modify, you will see the modified date will be changed. But at that again same time. So
Mm-hmm.
now if I edit it, see
Okay.
created date is 11:45, modified date is 11:46.
Okay. So then for reporting, if you need the dates only, then we have to take it from this particular field
Yeah,
using
but
this
in the back
formula.
end, you will get a separate date also, created date. I will show you that. This is
Okay.
created by and created by, modified by, created date and time, modified date and time. Yeah, if you want date alone, yes. You want time alone, yes, you can take it like, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks so much.
And also there will be a related list. You'll see here, notes and attachments. So you can upload the images, picture, yeah. So I can upload the images. Same way. Now, if you want to have a appointment or if you want to make a phone call, you can create a log a call. So call, what is the purpose of you are making the call to John, and then you can save it.
Question, Sampath.
Yeah.
Regarding the files upload, is there any limit?
Maximum 2 GB.
2 GB?
Yeah. Single file you can upload 2 GB. Single file. Like each file contain maximum of 2 GB you can upload it.
And any file format can be
Any
uploaded.
file format that can be configured in the backend system. So if you want to configure that, simply go to setup and there will be a file system. So if I click on the file, general settings, no, sorry. Where is that file connect?
No, it's there. It's there before general settings.
Over here. file upload and download security. So you can go and configure always like what type of configuration. These are all the file format available at the moment. Okay. Other than that, even if you want to have a more file format, you can go for a custom design. You can create like a custom design format, and from there, like you can restrict it. Okay. Again, yeah, we'll go through this letter. So, and again, you can make a phone call. You will see here. So on the date, there is a call is run. Like these are all the history. Basically, you can see the complete history. So now, you are one customer and you are dealing with him like he's a regular customers. Now, if you want to see what is his total journey, so at what time you call them and what are the follow-ups, so everything like will be loaded over here. History. This is a history. So basically, completed history and upcoming overdue history. Maybe like in the future again, if you want to make a meeting or follow-up something, you can see it over here. Upcoming. If it's a future, if it's a completed one, you can see everything over here. Okay. And if you want to send an email directly, you can use the Salesforce to send an email to them. You can pick up the email template. Again, these are all we'll go through it. So I will explain to you like a more and clear like once we come into the email template options. Yeah, this is the activity. This activity will appear only if you check the checkbox allow activity. Now to create a new fields, what you need to do? So click on the setup.
Select the custom object.
Yeah, you have to choose from the object manager and search for a custom the custom object which is called customer. There is a fields and relationship. See, once the object is created, it will create all this automatically. In this, you have to select the fields and relationship. Here you can go and create a new fields. So let's say like I'm going to create a date of birth. You can go for a date field. Okay, this is just a visibility. Field level security. We call it as a field level security, whether the field is visible to the user or not. And would you like to add this field to our layout? Yes. Save. Now we created a one fields. Now if we go for an employee objects, and the customer objects. So if we select this, yeah, give me 1 minute. So it's like it's taking like a bit time to load. See here the date of birth field. So you can capture the date of birth. So like this, you can go and create all the fields based on the data types. So like we have plenty of data types. So auto number, formula, lookup, master, external lookup, checkbox, currency, date. There are so many. Yeah. So I think like for Srinivas and Dhanalakshmi, I will try to cover like this data type later stage. Now we will jump into the relationship. And regarding Kishore, have we completed the formula and roll up summary field for you, Kishore?
No.
Okay. So basically like we will cover formula, roll up and this relationship. And Bhaskar also, I think we didn't cover, right?
Yeah, no, we covered only master detail relationship, only master.
Okay, not lookup and other stuff. Okay, yeah. But we'll go for it again one more time. Is that okay?
That's okay. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So for formula, yes, I will show you like how to do that. And yeah. Now first we'll go for a formula and then we'll go for a relationship. Okay. Formula means basically it's a read-only field to calculate the existing fields. Based on the existing fields, you can calculate some values. If you know Excel sheet formulas, in Excel sheet, we have a lot of functions. If you know those functions, it's pretty much very simple. It's similar formula they used in Salesforce. Not all the formula, very less formulas. So I will show you for that. So see here, these are all the data type which I need to go through it. Maybe like especially for Srinivasan and Dhanalakshmi, like I will go through it. And now if I look at the functions, these are all the different functions. So all these functions will be used on the formula data type. Now, I'm going to create a formula. So before that, why we need to go for a formula? What is the purpose? So we captured the date of birth, right? Now we need to calculate the age of this customer. How do we calculate that? So the system has to calculate the age, right? So to calculate that, we can go for a formula field because we are trying to calculate something. So for that, you can choose the formula. So select the formula data type, age, yeah. Now to calculate the age, what is the formula? What is my return type? What is my formula return type? If you want
The
to
number.
calculate the age,
Number.
number or date?
It should be a number because we are going to calculate the age.
Good, I am
Age.
testing it to Bhaskar actually. So if I said date, what will happen? Like, what is he's stopping immediately. You have to argue. So basically, no, it's a number only because we are calculating the age. So yeah,
Age. Yeah.
be confident. So yeah. Okay, so number, we don't want any decimal place. So yeah, next. So now here we have a simple formula, advanced formula. Now if you go for a simple formula, it will show you only the number fields, not other fields. Based on the object, it will show you the number fields. But in that object, we don't have any number fields. That's why like the object itself is not listing. But my recommendation is all the time go ahead with the advanced formula. Advanced formula is the good formula. Like here we can use any of the functions. Okay. Now to calculate the age, what is the syntax? So how do you calculate the age?
Current date minus date of birth.
Okay.
Year of date of birth.
Yeah. So you need a current date. So how do we get the current date in Salesforce? So we do our functions. So for that, you need to know the functions. The function is, there are two functions available. One is today. So return the current date. So if you use the today function, this function will return the current date. I put in the Excel sheet as well. So this one, today means return the current date. We have another function called now, return the date and time. So basically if I go for a now, return the date and time, it will give you the date and also time. Now which formula I should use, whether it's a today or now?
Today.
Today.
Why?
Because we don't need to calculate the time usually. Reason being, when you go for the age, then you have to give, which means when you go for the date of birth, then you have to give your time as well. So it's better always give the date.
But within the, yeah, within now also I will get a date and also time, right? So I based on the now I can calculate, right?
Yeah, we can, but you have to trim it. Instead of trimming it, it's better to go with a date.
Yeah, that is another good approach. And also we need to look at what is our date of birth data type. What is the data type for date of birth?
It's a date.
It's
a date.
It's MMDDYY.
Yeah, basically it's a date. It's not a date and time.
Okay.
So if this data type is date and time, means you can go for a now, because our date of birth also date and time. Now also we'll have a date and time, then easily we can subtract. But our date of birth is date format. So then in that case, we have to go for today only. So basically today minus the field date of birth. Check the syntax. See, no syntax. But if I use now function, quickly I will show you that. What is the error?
Incorrect parameter type for operator.
Yeah.
Expected number.
Expected number.
Number,
date time.
Date time.
Yeah, and received.
Date only.
Yeah. So on the subtractions, that's the issue. So expected, because we are trying to subtract date time, but what you are subtracting date, which is
The
wrong.
date field.
So that's why like I will go ahead with today. Now change syntax. Yeah, done. No issues. Next. It's a field level security. By default, add all users. Next. Add it to the layout. Save. Now go over here. It take like some more time to display generally, like if you create a fields. So yeah. Now what is the date? What is the age?
0.
Because I put today date. So 1970, I will go. Oh my goodness. Is it correct?
No.
What is the issue then?
It's you need to divide by the years, which means divide by month.
Exactly.
You haven't taken the today's function. You have not taken the year, right, in the formula.
Yeah. So basically, it's giving the number of days between two date fields.
Mm.
So at the moment, you got the number of days. So if I go for an age, so these functions will help you to subtract, like it will give you the number of days between these two date fields. Either you can go for divided by 365. You can do this. That is also perfect. Yeah, the age is 50. So now if I change like this on 2000, so 20. Yeah. So like this, you can calculate. So this is the one function. Another function also we have. So what we can do? So instead of subtracting the 365, what I will do, I have another function called a year. So there is a function called a year. So year of date. If you pass the date, it will give you the year alone. So from the today date, I'm going to get only the year minus from the date of birth, I'm going to get the year alone. So now year minus year, you will get it like exact values. So same thing, there is no changes on that. So you can do like that also. Up to the administrator or developer, you can go for any logic. So that's why like you can do like a different way, but you need output. So depends on the developers, like the behavior set, it will be a different. They can go for any different format, but the result will be the same. Yeah. Okay. So like that, we need to go through all these functions, but we'll go through it. So the next data type is I would say relationship. The roll up summary field will come back to it because at the moment it's disabled because this object doesn't have any relationship. If there is any relationship, it will come. At the moment, there is no relationship. Okay. Now let me go back to the relationship. So for relationship, I'm going to take the different sheet basically. Sorry, that is a record type. Relationship. Okay. So in Salesforce, we do have like different objects. So standard object, custom object, external object, big object. So standard object means provided by Salesforce. We know, yeah. Custom object means the one which we created. External object means, again, that is also the user, the object is created by users, but this object mainly used for integration purpose. The big object, again, user will go and create it. This will be used to store billions of data. So millions of data you can store, mainly like for activity feed or like history. For those kind of information, we can use the big objects. And the extension of the big object is double_b, and external object is double_x, and custom object is double_c, and the standard object is no extension, just account contact like that. And we do have a custom settings, custom metadata and knowledge with different extensions, but just remember it, okay? Now, we have like a different objects. Now, how do we make the relationship between two? So let's say we have a customer objects. And assume like we do have a vehicle. Yeah. Now, what is the relationship between these two?
The vehicle belongs to the customer, so it's a subset.
Yeah, it's a subset, but again, whether it's a one-to-one or one-to-many or many-to-many, like what is the relationship?
One-to-many. Customer can have many vehicles, right?
Yes. So customer can have many vehicles. Correct? So basically one-to-many. Again, that is a simple logic you need to understand that. Okay. Now, how do we make that one-to-many relationship? So for that, you need to know how we will make the relationship and what are the options available. Okay. So to make the relationship between the objects, we have like these many relationship. So lookup relationship, master detail relationship, external lookup relationship, hierarchical relationship, indirect lookup relationship. The lookup relationship will be used to make the relationship between standard object and standard object. Now, for us, both of them custom object, right? Customer also one of the custom objects, vehicle also one of the custom objects. So either you can go for a lookup relationship. See here, lookup relationship will be used to make the relationship between the standard object to standard object, or standard object to custom objects, or custom object to a standard objects, or custom object to custom objects, or external object to external objects. So if you're trying to link any of these objects, you can go for this relationship. For master, custom object to custom object and custom object to standard objects. So in this case, standard object always act as a parent. Okay, standard object always act as a parent. So external lookup relationship, if you are trying to link standard object to external objects, basically from standard object to external objects, or custom object to external objects, you can go for a external lookup relationship. And hierarchical relationship applicable only on the user objects. So let's assume like a sum of the company, they have a 2 reporting managers. So to capture the 2 reporting manager, basically manager 1 and manager 2. So manager 1 is the one of the hierarchy, manager 2 is the another one of hierarchy. So you can go for a hierarchical relationship. Again, this will be used only on the user object. This relationship not available for any other object. Maybe interviewer, if they want to check your capability, they will ask, so what are the different types of relationship available? And hierarchical relationship will be used on which objects? So at what time you will use that? They will ask such a question as well to check your knowledge in Salesforce. Yeah. Then indirect lookup relationship will be used on external object to a standard object, external object to a custom objects with external ID. You need to have an external ID, then only you can go for an indirect lookup relationship. Okay, but mainly we will use these two only, not all of them. Frequently we will use these two. Okay. Now using these two, you can go for a one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many, many-to-one itself. So itself means self-reference. If let's assume like the customer referred another customers. So you need to capture the referred by who referred these customers, right? That is a self relationship. So the self relationship is, we call it as a itself relationship. That can be done only on the lookup, not the masters. We cannot go for a masters. Only lookup, we can do the self relationship. So yeah, let's finish the self lookup relationship. It's very easy. So let's say I'm creating another one more customers. Peter, and his date of birth is like, yeah, maybe 2001 something. Okay. Now I need to know this Peter is referenced by which client, maybe like existing customer referred someone. So we need to capture the referred by. Yeah. So how do we do that? So basically, I'm going to make the relationship to a customer object itself. So to achieve that, click on the setup. Any questions so far?
No.
What about others?
Nope, I'm good.
Sini, are you able to grab it? Or it's too fast?
No problem, sir, but you can go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So now I'm going to make the relationship on the itself object itself. So basically employee object itself, I'm going to make the relationship. Okay. So to do that, click new, choose the lookup. You have to choose the employee, sorry, you have to choose the customer, because we are going to make the relationship on the same object. Okay, this is not a customer, reference by or referred by. Yeah. You can go for reference by or referred by or anything. Yeah. And the related list says either customer or reference, whatever it is, like yeah, references. Next, visible. Next, this is the related list. Okay. Now, if I look at a theta, I will have another field called referred by. So this theta referred by maybe a different customer. So let's say John. John is referred this theta. So like that, you can capture the relationship. Basically, this is itself relationship. On the same object, we took the relationship. Is that clear?
Yeah.
So like that again, if you have any scenarios or real-time scenarios, yes, you can go for like the similar approach. So the same object, like individual object referred on the same. So now we have another one more master detail relationship. So before jump into that, we need to understand what is the difference between lookup and master. Okay, lookup, at what time we go for a lookup? See, itself means definitely we have to go for lookup only. There is no other options. But what happened with other cases? 1 to 1 or 1 to many or many to many. So what relationship I have to choose? Either lookup or master. And which one is the best? So we have to decide. How we can decide? If you know the difference, we can decide. And this is one of the another interview questions. So what is the difference between lookup and master? You must know it actually. So we don't know, like they may ask this question. So what is the difference between the lookup and master data relationship? Okay, so lookup is basically loosely coupled relationship between the two objects. So let's say a customer and a vehicle. Between the two objects, it's loosely coupled. And if it's a master means it's a tightly coupled relationship. I will explain to you later why we call it as a loosely and why we call it as a tightly. You come to know that later stage. And using the lookup, you can link single object into a maximum of 40 other objects. So either it could be the same object, you can make the 40 relationship, either it should be the same object or different objects. But where in case of master, you can create maximum 2 relationship. We can link maximum 2 object only, not more than that, using the master data relationship. In lookup, it's a non-mandatory field. It's optional. Look here, it's optional. It won't ask you. This is not a mandatory. Without this, you can save it. It's optional. Yeah. But where in case of master, it's a mandatory. Without filling that information, you cannot save it. If you delete the parent record, child record will never removed. Basically, will never deleted. So if you delete the customer, It won't remove their vehicles. The vehicle will be there in your database. But where in case of master, if you delete the parent record, child record automatically will get deleted. If you delete the customer, all associated vehicles, orders, everything will get deleted if you have a master data relationship. And the ownership determined separately. Customer owner is different, vehicle owner is different, like the ownership. So owner means this field. So why here we call it as a owner means owner will own this record basically. So owner is who is owning this record, who will have a full permission for these records. So let's say in a company you have a 20 users. Now this customer, who is the owner, who is the in charge of these customers? So this owner is the in charge. So the owner will have a read permission, edit permissions for this particular record. Maybe for other record, different owner. Maybe like the user will be a different users. Within a company, if you have a more users, you can have a different users for each records. So for lookup relationship, the ownership is different. Parent, there is a separate owner. Child object, there will be a separate owners. But where in case of master data relationship, parent parent owner will control the child owner. There is no owner for child object. Who is the owner of the parent? The same parent, the owner is inherited to a child as well. There is no separate owner for child. If you have access to the parent record, automatically you will have access to the child record as well. So ownership is determined by the parent object. And in lookup, roll-up summary field is not applicable. In master, it's applicable. What is meant by roll-up summary field? So let's say you are in a customer. Now you want to calculate the total number of vehicles or total number of orders. So you need to know like what is the total number, right? So to calculate that, basically you have to go for a roll-up summary field. Roll-up summary field will help you to calculate the child object record or sum of the child object, minimum value of the child object, maximum value of the child objects. These four property can be done using the roll-up summary field. That roll-up summary field is not applicable for lookup, and in master, yes, it's applicable. And in lookup, from the child, you cannot update the parent because child can have a many parent in lookup. But in case of master, child can have only one parent at a time. So because of that, you can update the parent record. We cannot make the relationship. So basically we can make the relationship on a lookup. If the child object having some record, you can make the relationship. But where in case of master, if the child object having a record, we cannot make the relationship. But we will go through this all one by one, the point by point. We started 11, right? So yeah, we have 45 minutes. Okay, yeah. So again, the meeting going to be end in 6 minutes. Once it's ended, please rejoin it. Yeah. Okay. So now to create a relationship, first of all, I need to have another one more object, right? So let me create another one more object, which is vehicle. So it's a new custom object. Okay. So plural name vehicles. So plural name will appear on the tabs over here. Whatever you are putting, this text will appear as a tab if you create a tab. And here I am going for vehicle. Instead of name, I am going for ID. So I will say VID, vehicle ID, starting number 1. Allow reports, allow activity, like all this, just check it. Save. And create a tab, just a style, like there is no other purpose, just a style, like the look and feel. Whenever if you click on the tab, the color will appear basically. So I will go for a track, just. And this tab is visible to all the profiles, all the users basically, but added to only our applications, the vehicle management. Okay, now we created a vehicle. And by default, you will see there is a vehicle ID is the one of the field with auto number. The API name of the field is just name. This is again standard one. We cannot change this. Okay. Now if I look at here in the applications, see, we got it. And there is no additional fields. It's a vehicle name. It's auto number. We cannot enter it. If I click save, it will create a 0001, VID 001, like that it will create. Now we have two objects, vehicle and this one. So now I am going to configure the vehicle basically. So for vehicle, what are the fields you need?
Vehicle ID and vehicle name. And
I will go for a text field, which is vehicle name. Okay, 255 character.
and then we can talk about date of purchase
Yeah,
and model or make.
so say text, model, make. So the maximum length is 255. So because it's a text field, model, make, year, whatever it is, yeah, you can go for it. Assume like these are the couple of fields I created. Okay. Now, how do you make the relationship? So one customer can have a many vehicle, right?
Yeah.
So you have to make the relationship. So how do we make it?
So customer ID must be there in both objects.
Both the object are, yeah, anyway, like here we have already customer name. So now on the related list, we need a vehicle.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. So now you have to create a vehicle. So now we need to make the relationship between these two. So you will go for a lookup or master. I think I would say let's go for initially lookup, and then we can change that lookup into a master. Okay.
Okay.
So to create a relationship, first thing what you need to do, you need to understand the two objects. So we have a two object. Customer is the parent and vehicle is the child. So once if you identify the two objects, you need to create a field on the child objects. So in the child object, you have to create a lookup field. So now I am in the child objects, create a new field. Name it as a lookup. Look for a customer. Okay, and here I am going to create a one more field, registration number. I will go ahead with the text field registration number also. Vehicle registration number.